Hello and welcome back to Mower Repair. This is our next project. This is the famous Troy-Bilt TB320. She's a 21-incher. She's rear-wheel drive. Came with a 2-year warranty and has a 725 series EX 190cc Briggs & Stratton engine. This one's a little bit different story than a lot of these I get. This wasn't found alongside the road in the trash. This actually was a family member's son. Had this and he whacked something with it and then it never started again. So they decided to take it upon themselves to see if they could figure out if it'd run again or not. And it didn't. So here we are. Let's dig into it. Alrighty, we already know that they tried to mow more than grass with this thing. And somehow along the way, trying to get this to run, they end up replacing the carburetor. I don't know why. And then got a few other things along with it too. But let's go with what we know. We know they hit something, so let's pull the cover off the top of this thing and see if we got a problem with the flywheel key. And I'll forewarn you, I've already checked the blade and it is still pretty darn level. So whatever they hit wasn't too hard, but they did tell me they shoot a flywheel key, so I want to make sure they got that back in there right. That could be a lot of the problems that we're trying to face here. So we'll take out these two long-winded screws. Get our first plastic cover off the top. No modern mower is complete without a beauty cover. That's what sells the product. And we got 3 we're going to take out of here. Then we'll take the dipstick loose and turn it, and 4 more in the cover here. Just fold, yeah, the bottom bolt's gone too. We'll just fold that back out of the way. Take our dipping stick loose. Not sure that's the correct bolt there. We'll just set that back out of the way a little bit. Grab our tin. One right there. The one just like it right over here. Then there's 2 more up here. A 1 and a 2. Yeah, looks like they got it in all right. It's still lined up there. Right there. It's in good shape. Does not have a, no it doesn't. Guess it's just a friction fit, you might say. I went the wrong way. I wouldn't say she's torqued, but I will say she's tight. That's interesting. This should be back here right now. This is the choke arm, and it should have a spring on it that holds it back. And then when it starts, air blows against this and pushes it back. When the engine's warm, this arm heats up and moves this way and keeps the choke off whenever it's stopped. So it doesn't try to choke itself restarting, but there should be a spring on that. And there isn't. It's just kind of loose and floppy. I don't know if I did not get a spring in my box of parts that come with this mower. Interesting. Well, don't know what kind of spring that is, but I do happen to have right over there, you can't quite see it, but right over there, is another Toro mower very similar to this. Not the same model, but very similar to it. It's actually an upper line model. This is a lower line model here. This just has true railroad speed, and that one has personal pace. So, next step is, do we have spark? I'd kind of like to know that. So let's pull our spark plug out and take a look. got the right depth of spark plug in it. Put the old sparky in there. I have the top handle pinched back, so we should be able to turn this thing over. I'm going to use my impact and see if we have spark. And we do have some spark. That's good. I like it when that happens. All right, we'll put the spark plug back in. Still wonder about this choke spring thing. I don't remember what kind of spring it's supposed to have. Let's pull the top off the other mower sitting on the floor over there and see if we can figure that out real quick. All righty, we'll remove the same 2 screws removed on the other one. Yep, it has a spring. Right there. We're missing one. Well, crud. Tell you what, let's just borrow this spring for a little while and see if we can get this other one to run. Fiddly things. That's what we're dealing with. I'm trying to get this spring off here. There it is. Boy, here's one light duty spring. Alrighty, we got our spring off the other mower, and he goes right here. Let me get this with pliers instead of my big fat fingers. The other end goes over here. Oh crud, where'd it go? No wonder one of these is gone. Maybe if I grab it now with the pliers, get that end hooked. Come over. Oh, I got way too much of it to get hooked over here. There we go. There we go. Looks like she stretched pretty good. Let's just move this back this way a ways. There. Kind of like that better. I'd like it better if that was over that way a little bit more. There we go. Yeah. I think it'd work. All right, back to the giving it a drink down the gullet. See if this thing wants to fire up or not. We'll go ahead and set this back on. Get the 2 back here. That one's tight. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. I would certainly call those tight. Go ahead and put our dipstick back in place. Might as well check the oil over here. Yeah, it's got some. It's good enough for now. Now we don't need to set this back in place, but we're going to anyway. Go ahead and put our 3 screws in the top to hold the fuel tank on. Okay, this didn't have a choke spring before, so let's just see if it'll start up just because the choke spring was gone. What do you think? Place your bets now. Is she a runner, or we got to piddle with it some more? Now will it restart? Yeah, the thing in the exhaust is working too. It's holding it open farther than it was. We'll go one more time, then we'll see if it actually pulls itself. All right, now we'll see if it restarts. Now it's a little warmer. That's not too bad. Now, there is another issue. If you notice, this wheel isn't pulling very good. The other side, it's pulling great, but this one here, not so much. So we need to pull this wheel off and see what we got going on there. Sounds like it's engaged, but let's take a closer look at it and make sure everything is peachy as it can be. All right, I don't know much about Toros, but I think this just pops off. Look at that. All righty, let's see what's behind this door. We've got a good gear. And this is all turning like it should. I don't think these have a ratchet. No, they don't. So essentially that just sits on there. Is there supposed to be a screw in that? Behold the power of cheese. No, there's not. So apparently that just sits on there, and then the gear comes along and holds that on. Interesting. This little path in here, right here, apparently rubs on the end of this and holds it in place. So, yeah. It's like that. This collar is supposed to stay in the wheel. We will persuade it back in there. Everything's a hammer. Now then, let's clean this up and give her some lube. That never hurts anything. Make it turn a little easier. Yeah, let's turn that whole shaft and everything. Guess as good as it gets. I really don't know. Probably is though. How about some PB Blaster? Oh yeah, that'll be good for at least 10 minutes. There's me nut. Kind of have a feeling we should pull the other side off and lube it too. Put our hub and cap back on. Boom, just like that. That wheel's better. Let's go ahead and check our air filter. New. Okay, we'll just put our two screws back in. Long-winded screws. Not really going to be able to show you this very good. This is a spacer that goes in there, and this is the bolt that goes through it. Kind of like that. They go underneath the gas tank. This one here goes inside the gas tank thing, like that, and then this bolt goes on the outside. Run forward. Like that. That keeps that gas tank from vibrating. You leave that out, these gas tanks will crack. So you want to make sure that is in there. Move tools up a little bit. Kinda. There we go. Let's flip this baby and sharpen the blade and dump the oil. Yeah. I think I'm going to flip it first and then pull the dipstick out instead of doing it on the way. There we go. There's the underside of the beast. The belly of the beast, if you will. I'm not going to turn that like that because I haven't unhooked the spark plug. And I don't want that thing to chop my fingers off. Our oil plug's right here. Basically just flip them over and drain them. We're going to turn this and go shoop. Try not to get oil everywhere, which we did a little bit, but not horrible. Oh, look at that, it's the right size to let that drain out. Boy, that's some real nice oil. No, it's pretty much poo-poo on the platter. We're gonna let our oil drain, go ahead and pull our blade off and get it sharpened. We'll take the spark plug wire off. There we go. I'm guessing that's bigger than that. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking it may not be metric, but metric worked. I'm not sure this blade's ever been sharpened before. She's pretty straight, and yeah, not sure that's ever happened. All right, I'm gonna sharpen this up. All right, we got it sharpened, got the blade back on. I gotta tell you, I bought this thing. This is a Hercules handheld 4-inch grinder. I'm declaring this thing kind of a turd. I'll use it again to make sure, but I am just not thrilled with it at this point. It doesn't spin very fast, and every time you get a little bit of load, sharpen the blade, just and it shuts off. You gotta let off the trigger, back on the trigger, and go again. So it's not very impressive at this point. I'll see what it does next time. All right, I'm gonna dump my oil, flip this thing back over. All right, put some oil back in this, sweetheart. How much? I don't know. I'm gonna finish this bottle off and then we'll stick the dipstick in and check it. The dipstick will tell us how much. We gotta be getting about enough. I mean, I have no idea how much we put in, but it just seems like it ought to be enough. I think we're right there, but we'll give it a minute to drain down the tube because that's what screws you. As you slide this down that tube and the tube's oily, it'll give you a false reading every time. Yep, see this time we're way down here, so we need some more. Now I had it on its side, so I'm not too worried about that. Well, there you have it, another mower saved for one simple little item. This thing got discarded. So, we service it up, put that spring in there. Probably didn't even need the carburetors in it, but it is. And hey, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Mower Repair. Subscribe if you would. Like the video, and God bless. I'll see you next time.